Yeah, so we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to say hi, everyone. I hope you're all blessed. Before we start, I'm currently doing a giveaway on Twitter. If you want to join, all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe on the tweet. It's a pinned tweet on my Twitter to win a Hurricane shirt. The giveaway ends on Friday, just before the Bundesliga game. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Now, today we're going to be looking at predicting this season. As you can probably tell by the title, which is Bayern will not win the Bundesliga this season. Woo! Baby. So there was a template that kind of like wasn't really like viral or anything.
Oh, guys.
But there was a
Oops, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, look at the newest tweet.
It's
already starting. It's already starting.
What happened?
Thomas Tuchel's demands on new holding midfielder, and not only the bosses but also the team. It's
that's
like, I mean,
interesting.
I'm also I'm also saying we need a holding six, but if it's already annoying the team,
Who cares? The team has to bend to his will. If he's the manager, I let him bend to his will. I don't care about look. You all know, right? My two favorite players in the squad are Kimmich and Müller. I couldn't give a rat's ass if Kimmich leaves if he decides, you know what, I'm a six, despite the fact that he's the best midfielder in the world. There's no more of this nonsense. This experiment has failed. With that said, yeah, so we are going to be doing a season prediction. So there was recently a template thing that was going around on Twitter, and I thought, you know what, we could use that. We don't have to like follow it letter by letter and T by T, but we could use it as like a template to predict the upcoming season. So let me just show you what the template looks like. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I've been so busy with work today that I've not even like thought of my answers to the template. But that's sort of like what we'll be going through. So I don't know how well you guys can see what is currently on my screen. If things will just decide to load.
Zoom in a bit. Yeah, it's good now.
So, predict Bayern 2023-2024 with the player of the season, top scorer, top assister, breakout season, most improved, most disappointing, best signing, Tuchel sacked mid-season. Woo! Bundesliga, biggest threat to the title, DFB Pokal, and the UEFA Champions League. So we're going to be using this template essentially to predict the upcoming season, which is going to be should be a very interesting prediction video stream discussion. Let me know what you all think in the comment section as well in regards to your predictions for all these things once we get to them. I would say we're going to tackle these like one by one, category by category. So we'll start with obviously the player of the season. We'll all give our thoughts on that and then move on to the next part. And as I said, we don't have to follow this like letter by letter, category by category. If there's anything specific that we want to talk about, then we can do so as well. With that said, though, look, it's a player of the season. I'm going to get rid of the template for now, and we're going to be talking about the player of the season. As I said, I've not done my own list, so I'm kind of doing it on the fly. But if anyone has a name for who they think is going to be player of the season, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think I'll go for me. It's Kim Min-jae. I'll go for. I don't know if you guys seen this guy preseason and the game he came on against Leipzig. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people. People might think Kane, or it's not always as obvious as it looks. But I back Kim Min-jae to be the best defender in the world within the next 2 years.
Okay. I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. As I said, I didn't watch the preseason games, so I had to go back and watch them. I did that over the weekend because I thought, that would cheer me up from the Super Cup loss. It didn't. We were terrible in preseason as well. Yeah, but
Tuchel said the preseason games were fine. So that's
Tuchel's a liar.
Fine, yeah.
he's a liar, a dirty liar. But yeah, I very much like your choice. I do think he's very underrated, and I think the reason he's underrated, it's typically, the thing that happens is that people don't like defenders. Let's be
Yeah,
honest, right?
yeah.
People don't like defenders. They're there for the flashy things. They're there for the step overs. They're there for the tricks, the flicks, the goals, the assists. They're not there for the defenders. Nobody cares about a defender that does their job well. But I think we've seen with Meccano that like his stock is falling. His stock is falling. A lot of Bayern fans are tired, to say the least. They're tired of the failings that unfortunately he possesses. So
for me, I honestly, I just want to add Upamecano. I don't know if he can ever get rid of this Bozo moment because it's happening one too many times, and it's just because there's so many big games ahead. Like there's a game that you can't afford like slight mistakes. And I know Upamecano there's always one or two mistakes in him, like in the big games in the quarterfinal or round of 16 Champions League games against Madrid or City. So I don't know. I know he's the best when it comes with the ball. Out of maybe all three, I don't know. Kim Min-jae, a lot of people say he's not as good as Upamecano, but from what I've seen, he's actually good himself. I don't know if you've seen that ball to Gnabry. I've seen a few highlights as well, but for me, Upamecano, I don't know. I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think. Look, I was on the camp that thought that he got rid of his bozo gene last year. I truly believe that. And then, it pains me because I think I jinxed him. I honestly think I jinxed him because I made a video. I was live on YouTube while I was walking to the City Stadium. I was live and I was saying, I just hope that Upamecano doesn't have a bozo moment in this game because he's done so well and this is on the biggest stage now. And then he had a bozo moment in that game. And I was like, you know what? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. The fact that I thought that, he would not have a bozo moment, that was my fault. I was at fault for that. So, you know what? I like your answer with Kim Min-jae. I do like your answer a lot. What about you, though, Daniel?
Yeah, my answer for player of the season is going to be Harry Kane because I think there's a reality where he can win Ballon d'Or and be the best player in the world, not just the season. I say that because I think he can be a very good glue between the attack to bring Sané into play, bring Gnabry into play. He has great passing vision. He can get goals. He can get assists. So I think if we do end up winning a treble and then the Euros is next year, so imagine he wins that with England as well. So I think he can end up becoming player of the season, not just from like what he can do with Bayern, but also with England in that time and potentially win a Ballon d'Or with what he can contribute.
I don't know what's more likely. England winning or us winning the treble. They're definitely us winning the treble. I mean, if you would have said like us winning the Champions League, I would have said that's impossible. But us winning the treble, my goodness, you've got some expectations.
It's a reality though, because like imagine the season we did win the Mickey Mouse treble. In the beginning of the season, we thought, oh shit, we're not doing anything, and then we ended up winning the treble within like 5 months of like Hansi Flick coming in. And so we could see that happen this season. Anything can happen because City is the only team that looks really strong, but they did lose Mahrez. They lost some key players. Real Madrid didn't get Mbappe. So I think there's a real possibility we do win the Champions League, and England's always going to compete for the Euros. So I think if everything goes the way I'm hoping it does, I think he'll be player of the season, and I think he'll win Ballon d'Or.
You hear that? You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Kane can win the Ballon d'Or, which even Lewandowski couldn't do. Kane can win the Ballon d'Or.
Kane has different PR though.
Yeah,
it's that English tax.
He has. Like, look at the likes. He even got more likes than when Lewandowski went to Barca, and Barca does have more juice than us, at least on Twitter.
Fair. I'm not gonna say anything against that, and I'm gonna shut my mouth and just be like, you know what? Hey, if it does happen, you know what? I'll be here for it. But I don't think it's gonna happen. But we'll see. We'll see. Of course, we will see. Nagels Enjoyer, however, what are your thoughts? Who do you think will be the player of the season for the 2023-2024 season?
All right. Mine is a bit controversial, I guess, but it all depends on on a question we will come to later. But what I'm saying is, for me, the player
here
of
we
the
go.
season is Kimmich.
Oh, I knew. I actually knew it. I knew it. Come on.
Look. If you guys are not in Germany, right? But if you're in Germany, you would see Kimmich is getting like they are acting like Kimmich is the worst player in the world. I'm telling you, every time there's a Kimmich article, they're saying Kimmich should shut up, move Kimmich back to the right back position. He's not good enough for the midfield. All this kind of stuff, right? While I believe he's still our best player. For me, he's the best player we have. And I do understand the kind of, Kimmich is not a real number 6. Tuchel wants a real number 6. And there's like this kind of argument going on right now. But all I'm saying is, every season we go in, Kimmich is one of the most consistent players that we have. And I do believe it will be the same this year. And all I'm saying is, it's harder for a midfielder to shine than for like a striker, right? So to get the player of the season, like for example Musiala as well, if he gets like I don't know 15 goals and 20 assists, he would probably be like one of the
20 assists. Did you just say 20 assists?
Yeah, why? Is that not much?
That's way too much.
What is his current assist in this season? Does anyone know?
I'll have a look on Transfermarkt, but that's way too much.
Now I'm saying for all competition, right? Not only Bundesliga.
The only way this happens is if he balls out in like the Deal People call against the 9th division team or something. That's the only way this happens. 20 assists. That's like Kimmich numbers.
It's like Messi numbers.
Is it?
It basically is Messi or Müller number. It's Kimmich or Müller numbers.
Yeah, like what? Messi got like 20 assists last season or something crazy. So
last season, Musiala had 16 assists and 16 goals.
Yeah, in all competition.
Then let me say like 15 assists, right? 15 assists. But because Musiala was our player of the season last season, right? At least it's what the fan votes said.
Yeah, but the fans only voted that because he scored on the last match day. That's all it is.
But the thing is, Nagelsmann might have a point with the assist because he didn't have a striker to play off last season. You have Harry Kane in front of you now. He could get 20 assists now.
Yeah.
Especially if we get 6 and then he's moved more forward and then he can enjoy I can see him actually gain a lot more assists if we get like a proper 6 next to him.
Anyway, all I'm saying is Kimmich is, for me, he's still one of the best, and he will prove that by being our best player of the season. And then in my opinion as well, we need to extend his contract this season. Like in this season, don't wait for the end. Do it this season. I don't know, like in the winter break or something. Because if we wait, imagine we drop out of the Champions League in the quarters again. Kimmich won't stay. What if we extend his contract already before? He has no choice. So I would say extend his contract already in the winter, and he will prove that he's one of the best. So.
Yeah, just a quick one, guys. Santi guy retweeted, about Sangara. He posted earlier on. So there might be some news about Sangara soon. Sorry.
Santi posted it?
Like, remember a few days ago he posted that Bayern were open to start talks with him.
Yeah.
5 days ago. Now he retweeted the same post. So I'm assuming
but he said
something.
we're getting Thuram too, so I don't really trust
Yes.
him.
He's been fraudulent this summer. That's all I'm going to say.
No. Hold up. He was the first to report about Kim, right? He was
he?
Fraudulent.
Yeah. No, he was.
If you make 1 million predictions, at least one is going to be correct.
Exactly.
Also true, but
You see, I was the first to predict Kane to Bayern last season when I said, "Oh, we're gonna have Kane, Mane, and Sané." I was the first, so I'm right.
Yeah, but
I've got my inside sources.
Because we don't have Mane anymore, so you were wrong.
Yeah, exactly. actually,
Mane will return next year, and then we'll have Kane, Sané, Mane.
Before we move on this one, I just want to ask, what are your thoughts on Sangara before we move on? Good enough for Bayern?
So as for one of the people that actually watch PSV a lot, and is a huge fan of a huge fan of their team more than anything, I think I've said this before, but I think he is a very solid option. I don't think he's an amazing option, and that's quite frankly the difference. Because I think a lot of people are expecting him to come in and fill the problems that we have, be the solution. I think he's going to be a solution. I don't think he's going to be a great solution. As I said before, I think he's like a very consistent. I mean, I said 8 out of 10. I'll say 7.5 out of 10. I think he's a very consistent 7.5 out of 10. I don't think there is much upside to him, and I don't think there's much downside to him. So basically, what you see is what you get. He's not going to improve.
Do you have your fan on?
No.
On? Okay, that's something.
Actually, I do, but it's mainly my laptop, which I need to get fixed.
Oh,
because my laptop, one of the fans is like, I don't know. Try opening it, and well, let's just say I couldn't fix it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Sangare. Shout out to all the people in chat: Dane Gills, Northwest Wind, Bavarian, and Arbat21. Look, I've listened to all of you speak, and you kind of gave me the idea for who I think is going to be our player of the season. So let me tell you who I think it's going to be. I really like what Mito. I really like what you said about Kim being our player of the season, and I would agree with that, except that I think it's going to be De Ligt. I think De Ligt last season was very close. I think he was second in the fan votings, behind Musiala, and I think Musiala is unlikely to have like what do you call it? He's unlikely to have like the last goal, the goal that wins us the Bundesliga. That basically tips it over the edge. So I think you take that away. I think De Ligt wins the Bundesliga. He wins the player of the season. That's my thoughts on that. And I think someone like Kim will help because, if our defense concedes less goals, people are going to be like, you know what? Wow, our defense is actually good. And who will they look at first? I think the leader of the defense, which is De Ligt. Like you typically look at the leader in that position. So I think that's why De Ligt will be our player of the season. Because I think, if he has a big performance, the sky is the limit. Whereas I think with Kim, it's going to take a little bit for him to really adjust before he kicks off. So that's my thoughts on the player of the season. Let me know, chat, for those watching, for those listening, tell us who you think is going to be the player of the season. And if you can, write a short description and we'll read it and have a look and see what who you think it could be. Northwest Wind says, I think it could be De Ligt. I don't disagree with you. I mean, I literally just said I agree with you. I think it's going to be De Ligt. I think there's 4 players that can win it. Actually, there might be 5 players, and there is a reason why I'm saying there might be 5 because Müller. When does his contract end?
Next season, right?
Is it next season?
I think.
Because if it's this season, they're going to give it to him just out of principle if he retires after the end of this season. The contract expires in June 30th, 2024. So I think there's a chance that he could win it just out of principle. They're going to be like, Müller retires, and then the fans are going to be like, you know what? We're going to give you the player of the season even if you've done nothing for us this season. He would just win it automatically at that point. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But the other 3 players are Kane, De Ligt, and I think Musiala, just for the hype.
What about Gnabry thoughts? Because I feel like Tuchel can get the best out of him. I like what I see from the preseason so far, and at the end of last season as well, the way he played. So just watch out on him. It might be a surprise one, but Gnabry.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I'm normally not a fan of Gnabry, but I'm just gonna might be surprised.
I mean, I don't even think he played that well.
I still don't know what his best position is. He seems to be too slow on the wings. As striker position, he's too small. He can't reach the headers. I still believe he needs to find his position. But anyway, he will probably bang in some goals against Darmstadt and Heidenheim, and then we say, Prime Gnabry is back.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, good point. Is also what I've been saying on Twitter. I said don't count out Müller, especially Müller Kane. That could be it, guys.
well, the thing is, the reason why I'm like a little doubtful about that, how quickly they can adjust, is because it took Müller a few years to really, have that one-to-one connection with Lewandowski.
That's
So
true.
I don't know how quick it will go with him and Kane. So that's like my one question in regards to that.
Well, the issue is too. Tuchel hasn't really given Muller a big role in the team yet either. So
Yeah.
is he even gonna get the minutes to demonstrate himself? I don't really think so.
That is very, very true. Northwest Wind says the Ligt will be more used to his leadership position and experience in the back line. He has a good head on his shoulders. I could see Kane also being the best player too. You see, the thing with Kane is, and let me just deviate a little bit, because we're going to talk about Kane, I'm assuming, right after this, because the next question is top scorer. So I think we're going to be discussing Kane a lot, in a lot more detail. But the thing about Kane is he's played with a lot of mediocre/good players. He hasn't really played with many great players.
No. What about the
Except for
English
England.
squad? Yeah.
Yeah, but like the England squad, that's debatable.
I
think
it's
that's just
different,
because.
though.
Nah, the English squad is the second best squad in the world.
No,
Can't
because
say
even
that
if
was-
even if the squad is good, right, the chemistry isn't as cohesive as a club team. So I don't
Yeah,
Exactly.
think
that's
it's
true.
one-to-one.
Yeah, good point. Actually. But if you want to debate about the squad, squad level of in terms of their strength, I would still say they're after one step for me the best squad.
Yeah, but like also take into account that any club side would basically wipe the floor with any country. Like the levels are just a little different.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we would win against France, for example. I don't think so.
That's because half our squad is France.
Yeah,
But
true. Even if you clone them, I don't think we're gonna win.
I do.
Okay.
If you put Man City in the World Cup, they're winning every game 5-0.
Good point.
Imagine Man City versus Qatar. That's a oof. And that's a big oof. Milo will be back in a few, so we'll get his thoughts on the next few questions. Dane Gill says if Kane scores over 25 goals in the league, has a great season, they would give it to Kane for the big hype. I think that's very true also. But speaking of Kane, the next topic, just to show you again the order in which we're going through, the next topic is the top scorer of the season. And I think most of us are probably going to agree of who will be the top scorer of the 2023-2024 season. But you know what? Let me start first this time because I was last previously. I think the top goal scorer, I don't think to anyone's surprise, is Kingsley Coman.
What did you say?
I said Kingsley Coman. Do you not believe in the Coman supremacy? No, it's obviously Kane. That to me is a no contest because we've been lacking a striker, and Tuchel has even said it already that Kane is going to start every game because he is the number 9. So I don't think there's much of a, unless he gets injured, I don't think there's much of a debate really here. I don't see Gnabry suddenly scoring 25, 30. I mean, that also depends how many goals you think Kane will get, but I'll ask that in a second. Yeah, I just don't think there is anyone in the squad that's going to get more than Kane. That has the chance of getting more scorer points than Kane. But what do you think, Nagels and Joya?
No, for me, there's no discussion. It has to be it will be Kane. It has to be Kane. If it's not Kane, he's a flop. Let's be real. If it's not Kane, he's a flop. And if it's just close Kane, it's still a flop. He must be by far our biggest scorer. Best goal scorer, by far. I don't see any other point. Yeah.
Well,
come on, Daniel. You wanna if it's not Kane by at least. What I'm saying is, if our second best goal scorer has like 15 goals, Kane must score 25. Otherwise, it's cringe. Like, I can't lie. As much as I love Kane, he must score 10 more goals than the second highest goal scorer on our list.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree or do you disagree?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Kane, right? He can score with his left. He can score with his right. He's great with headers. Unlike Lewandowski, he's better with scoring outside the box. And he's one of the top scorers in English First Division history. So it's definitely going to be Kane. He's in the prime of his career. So it doesn't make any like sense to say anyone else.
Interesting. Okay, I'll ask a question then. Since none of us disagree on Kane being the top goal scorer, I'll ask this question then. I'll ask two questions. The first one is a bit of a troll one, but still. What about Choupo-Moting? What about Choupo?
If he stays, he could leave too. I think Inter Milan were linked to him, but I don't think they'll get him because they got Arnautovic. But he's not going to play. Let's be honest.
I couldn't even see him leaving.
Mark, we're talking about Bayern, so all of Bayern, not just the Bundesliga.
We'll talk about the Bundesliga though in a bit.
Yeah, we are, of course, but specifically just Bayern for now. We're just evaluating the season, and I'm literally just about to ask how many goals each of you think is going to get in each competition. Because I've seen some people, and I disagree with this, but I've seen some people say that he's going to break the Bundesliga record that Lewandowski established, and I think absolutely not. That team was built around Lewandowski.
Yes,
and Müller and Lewandowski had a one-to-one connection.
Exactly.
And as I said, I don't think Müller and Kane, as good as Müller is, I don't think they're going to have that telepathic connection from the get-go.
Nah, it's not only that. It's like our team is worse than it was 2020. Like, the team must be good as well. As well, your opponents must be bad. And I think the Bundesliga has, like, the competition has risen up. So I believe it's even more difficult now. So I don't think it will be easy to, ever break the 40 goals again. It's something I believe Lewandowski will hold for a long time.
So here's what I'll say. Another big reason I don't think Kane is going to break it ever at his time at Bayern is that Kane isn't greedy. He's not greedy enough. Lewandowski, he would take every shot. He didn't care about, getting assists. He would take every shot. The ball is even close to him, he'll take the shot. His teammate is right next to him, he'll take the shot. There's someone in a better position, he'll take the shot. He was selfish and greedy.
But that was a good thing, though.
Sometimes, not always. I don't think that's going to happen with Kane. Kane is not greedy enough. The fact that he's a striker that can also create means that he's not always going to look for the goal. Now, how many goals do you people think he will have in all competitions? And then we're going to break them down by competition.
I think in Bundesliga, I think Harry Kane will get around 25 to 30. I think he's probably gonna have to get used to the league as well, so it might take a season to adapt. I think he might break a different record, not the Lewandowski record, but I think there's a chance he could break the most goals and assists by a single player in a season. If that makes sense, what I'm saying. He can probably get the most goals and assists by one player in a Bundesliga season. I think he can do that just because, as you said, he can create chances as well. I think 25 in the Bundesliga to 30. Probably in the Champions League around 10, hopefully. And in the Cup, around 5 would be good.
Okay, fair enough. Now, let's talk about you. How many goals do you think Kane will score in all competition and break that down by competition?
All combined, all.
Yeah, and then break it down by competition.
All right. Good question, actually. Wait, if I have to say, right, I would say he scored 25 goals in the Bundesliga. I expect. How much is normal the Champions League?
You're typically top goal scorer in the Champions League with about 10.
I say 8. 8 goals in the Champions League. And I mean, we are unlucky. We haven't I think in the first DFB Pokal game we play against Preußen Münster, they're I believe they're third division. It's not like an amateur club, which could, where I would say he would probably score 12 in the German Cup. But I go with 6 in the German Cup, which is still high. Considering we will drop out of the DFB Pokal after the second round, it's still high.
So you said 6, 8, and 25, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 39. Interesting. So I'm gonna go higher. Can we get much higher? So high. I think Kane is gonna score in the Bundesliga. I think he's gonna score 30. In the DFB Pokal, because I expect us to go out early, but I also expect us to play really well early, but then still go out. You know what? No. I expect us to win. So I think Kane is going to score 9 goals in the cup. So I 30 in the league, 9 goals in the cup, and 9 goals in the Champions League. So I expect him to go for a combined 48 in all competition, which is a lot. It is a lot. I agree. I know. But I also disagree with what you said, Nagels. I think the Bundesliga has gotten much worse. I think football clubs in general have gotten much worse. I don't think there are any really good teams in world football besides City. And so because everyone is bad, I expect him to score plenty of goals. That's my thoughts on this whole matter with Kane. So I expect him to score 48 goals in all competitions. Man of Parik says, keep in mind, with his ability to facilitate attacks and play make, can you put that into context regarding how many goals he scores compared to the rest? Well, it's difficult to say compared to the rest, of course, because I think the second highest player is going to be one of our wingers, most likely Gnabry, because he typically ends up being the second highest scorer. Now, if I had to give you an example of how many goals I think Gnabry will score, I think Gnabry is going to score, in all competition, let's say 30. And I think that will already be a massive improvement to his previous season. So, there's a massive distinction between 30 and 48. But that's sort of the big difference that I think is going to happen. So everyone likes goals. Everyone likes the person that scores the goals. But what about the person that facilitates the goal, ladies and gentlemen? Who will be the top assister? Now, keep in mind, before you say Müller, keep in mind that player has to play. It can't just be a hypothetical. That player has to play. So before you say Müller, I know you all want to say.
No, I'm not saying Müller. What?
All right, okay, fair enough. Who will be the top assister of this season? Who will get the most assists this season?
Thomas Müller. Never. Not joking. Go ahead, Daniel.
I'm torn between 3: Musiala, Kimmich, and Kane.
Ooh.
I think
Good guess.
Because I think if Kimmich gets pushed forward and we get a 6, I think it'll be Kimmich. But Musiala with Kane could get a lot too. I'm gonna go with Musiala on a gut, just because I think that he's gonna continue to develop at a fast pace, hopefully. And I think with Kane, he's gonna have a good partnership, and I think they'll link up well. So I'm going to go with Musiala. And I think Nagels and Joy was right with Musiala getting around 20 assists. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Musiala.
Okay, interesting. What about you, Nagels?
Oh, this is... I'm saying Sane. Oh, yeah. I'm saying Leroy Sane. Nah, and I don't have an explanation. It's just my gut feeling. I just saying Leroy Sané, and okay. I have no reason. It's just gut feeling, but I believe this is the time where it's not only pre-winner break Sané. I believe he could maybe be consistent for the whole season. Please, I'm begging. And then with Kane, man, I believe he can assist in many goals. That's just my feeling. I have no explanation, as I said.
Interesting. So while all of you were talking, I am currently looking at some stats from last season. You all know I'm the stat man. I'm always a stat man, despite the fact that I don't care about stats. But yeah, I'm always despite that, I'm always looking at stats. Now, here's one thing I'll say, and you will be shocked and probably surprised by this. I very much agree with what Daniel said earlier, that like the top three most likely to have the most assists are Kane, Musiala, and Kimmich. But here's a clear one. Here's the big one. But you know what I find interesting? Do you know, if you had to guess who had more assists last season, Kimmich or Müller, or Gnabry or Sané, out of those four, who do you think had the most assists between Kimmich, Gnabry, Sané, and Müller?
Probably Gnabry.
What you Nagels?
Again, repeat the question.
Who had the most assists last season between Kimmich, Gnabry, Sané, and Müller? If you had to guess.
The most?
Yep.
Kimmich.
No. The answer is actually Gnabry and Müller. And Müller. They both had 12 in all competitions. Do you know how insane that is? One, Müller, who basically barely played last season, had 12.
Mm-hmm.
Musiala, who basically played every single game, had 16. Gnabry has also had 12. Now, here's the interesting thing. Kimmich has only had 11 in all competition, which is usually how much he has in the Bundesliga alone, and Sané had 10. So we don't think of Sané as much of a goal scorer. We think of him more of a creator, and yet you look at his assist numbers, and he isn't getting as many assists as the pure goal scorer that is Gnabry. So I was gonna say Kimmich, then I saw the stats, and now I'm hesitating with my answer, and I'm going with Kane. So I'm going with Kane. I think Kane is going to be a top goal scorer, and I think he's going to be a top assister. I think he's going to be both. I think he's going to have the most scorer points. And if I had to give you an answer, I think Kane is going to get around. You know what? I'll go with 20 assists in all competition.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kane is going to have 20 assists in all competition.
For someone who was very critical with the Kane transfer, you seem to be a hard believer in Kane.
Well, it's like I said. I'm a hypocrite. No, that's not what I'm saying. it's like I said, right? I was very critical of the transfer because I don't think it's the right fit. But also, I'm just gonna hope for the best, basically, because I'm just gonna hope that a top player can adjust. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
I think the main issue people had with Kane too was his mentality. Like, oh, will he leave Spurs? Will he not? Does he want to win a trophy? Does he not? I think now that he's left, he's kind of proven that he does. And I don't think anyone's questioned like the type of player he is. Has unbelievable passing ranges, great goal scorer. So I think top assister is a good shout for Kane.
I get why you would say Musiala Northwest Wind. I don't see it. I know he had 16 assists last season at all competition, and that's great. But he's given me no indication that he's going to return to like the first half of the season performance that he had last season. I've got nothing that shows me that that's going to be the case. So I don't know. I don't see it personally. How does Kane get assists? Well, how do any of the players in our squad get assists? How did any of the players in our squad get assists last season when we didn't have a striker? Because someone always bangs one in. You could be the worst striker ever, just give it to De Ligt and he'll shoot from 30 meters and score somehow. So, yeah, that's sort of how I see it. Cool. The next one is a more fascinating question, I think, personally. I think the next one is a question that there's a lot more discussion surrounding it because it could go any sort of way. And the next question is, who will have the quote-unquote breakout season? Who will be the star? Who will have the breakout season? Who will go from zero to hero? I'm going to start with you this time, Nagels and Joya.
Oh, man. Okay. This will be a very controversial one.
Oh,
I want to say...
Here we go. He's going to say Bouna Sarr.
Wait. The thing is, breakout season and most improved. I struggled with this because what do we mean with breakout season? Is it like someone who never played last season is now suddenly a star? Or what does that mean? For example, Gravenberg. If I say Gravenberg, that would be his breakout season, right? If you would start every game.
Yeah. Yeah. You could say that.
Yeah, but I don't want to say that because I don't believe in it.
So the difference between breakout and most improved is like this. Most improved is if a player, let's say Bouna Sarr, suddenly turns into Philipp Lahm. He's the most improved. All right?
Yeah.
Breakout season is if someone like I'll use Bouna Sarr as the example again. If Bouna Sarr suddenly becomes a key component of the team and is important and shows abilities, then that would suffice for a breakout season. Or if they just play a crucial role.
Yeah, so if you go bibbity bobbity boo on Bouna Sarr and he turns into prime Cafu, then there you go. That's your breakout player.
That would be nice if he turned into Cafu. But yeah, Nagels and Joya, what are your thoughts? If you're not ready, that's fine. I'll go to someone else.
Okay, then just give me an answer whether there is like an allowed answer. I want to say Goretzka. Does that count or not?
I guess it could.
Sure.
Because Tuchel doesn't rate him, so.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because I believe at the end we will not sign the number 6. I don't think we will. Because I don't... the thing about why we signed Kane, right, and Kim is because both the bosses and Tuchel, they both wanted a new center back and a striker. That's why we got Kim and Kane. But you can see the bosses are not they're not sold on this number 6 thing or holding 6 thing. This is why I don't believe we get him. And especially because it's not like Tuchel is showing them, look, I'm the guy who will be here for the next 3 to 5 years. Better get me the player. Tuchel, if you lose to Bremen, you're gone. Like, that's what I'm saying, right? It's because I don't think we get a number 6. And then it will be a battle between Goretzka, Leimer, and Gravenberg. And I think Goretzka will be the one who will then succeed. That's why I say it's a breakout for him.
Okay. Daniel, do you want me to go to you, or do you want to? Do we want to hear what Tausif has to say first?
I've got mine, but if Tausif wants to go, we can go with him.
Yeah, sure. Tausif, how are you doing? I hope you are well.
Hi guys, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I guess I've missed the first few.
You can give your answers for the first few if you want.
Okay, we've got player of the season. I'll go with Matthijs de Ligt. He was good last season, so I think he might be one of the best performers next season or this season. Then top scorer, I think, is going to be Harry Kane. That's quite obvious, I think. Top assister is a bit more difficult.
Not Alphonso Davies.
Definitely not, no. Although he might be a candidate for the most disappointing, but we'll get to that. Top assister is, I think, maybe Jamal Musiala. It's very hard to pin down, but I'd go with Jamal. Yeah, and breakout season, I think if we're not gonna sign anyone else for the defense, Josip Stanisic might have might get a bit more of an opportunity to prove himself this season.
Wouldn't you say last season was his breakout season, though? Because he
I
really
mean,
came
yeah,
into
but I
his
think
own.
more so
Played
this
in the
year.
Champions League.
Yeah, true, but I
Remember?
think this year we're still gonna sell Pavard, hopefully, and he's gonna find himself with more game time, I think, and he's
Okay.
gonna be more crucial. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Stanisic, the often forgotten man. It's a shame, isn't it, that he's often forgotten. But what do you think, Daniel? Who's
Yeah.
your breakout season star?
Mine is going to go to Mazraoui. I'm not super confident just because we haven't sold Pavard yet and they want to keep him. So I think if he does end up going, which I hope he does, I think it's going to be Mazraoui. Clearly, Tuchel wanted Walker, and we're not getting Walker. He's going to sign at City. So I think that Mazraoui will be kind of handed the right back role, and he's looked very good going forward. Defensively, he can be a bit more disciplined. You look at the handball he gave away. I feel like he gave away 1 or 2 penalties last season too. But I think that if he gets consistent game time, I think we'll see more of him. And then I think hopefully he'll solidify his spot if he's more defensively disciplined. And going forward, he's been very good. So I'm going to go with Mazraoui.
Yeah. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Well, you know what they say? You know what they say? Time is a flat circle. All right? I don't know whether this was my answer last season, but I feel like this player would have been at the top. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to be disappointed again.
Oh, no.
Like every single year, I somehow believe this. And like every single year, I'm going to be disappointed. It's the
Nianzou.
bozo. The bozo. No, the other bozo. The bozo G runs strong at the club. It is Upamecano. Please. Please. I'm begging you, all right? From one former defender from one former defender who was the best defender in the world to a current defender who, struggles a lot. I am asking you kindly, humbly, I request, please, Upamecano, please let this be your breakout season. No more bozos. No more silly mistakes. Just keep it simple. Just give the ball to De Ligt or Kim or whoever you're playing with. Just keep it simple, my brother. Please. I'm gonna be proven wrong at the end of the season. And come next season, when we get to this again, I'm gonna say, you know what? I think it's gonna be Upamecano who's gonna have the breakout season. Ha 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 ha. But I believe it's Upamecano. Foolishly, I admit. But I do believe it is Upamecano. Now, who's the most improved? Who is the most improved? Who's gonna improve the most? I think this one is easy. I'll be honest. I think this one is easy.
This one's
Really?
actually easy. Yeah.
I do. Ooh, nobody wants to take the reins. Nobody wants to take the reins.
I'm saying Davis.
Oh, Davies. Okay.
I find that very interesting that you think Davis is going to be the most improved, whereas Towers have said that Davis is going to be the biggest disappointment. And that's very interesting. Two completely different thoughts on the same player. But I actually, you know what? I'm going to give you my answer. Oh, no, I won't. But I think Davis is one of the top 2 candidates for most improved, but also most disappointing. I think he's that one player that could maybe go back to his 2020 form, or his form could be even worse next season. There's only 2 ways. There's no middle ground. It's either up or down. There's no middle. So I like your choice, Nagelsmann, your most improved. What about you, Mr. Daniel?
I feel like mine is gonna be kind of weird, but I'm kind of torn between Matisse Tell and Musiala. I think Tell can learn a lot from Kane as a player. We saw in the Super Cup game, he could have had a hat trick, but he couldn't get the chances in the goal. But I think hopefully as he grows along with Kane, we'll see him become a better player, a better goal scorer. But I don't because I don't think he's going to play as much. I'm going to say Musiala, just because I think, from my opinion, last season his decision making was poor at times. I think he can still improve his goal scoring abilities. I think he can still improve his chance creation, and I think that this year we'll see more of it, hopefully. And I think this could be the year where people in football look at Musiala as one of the best players in the world. Hopefully, if he can improve his game a bit in those areas I mentioned. So I'm going to go with Musiala.
Very, very interesting, very, very fascinating. But quite frankly, I know my boy Tausif has a completely different answer for most improved, right?
I mean, yeah, I have a bit of a different answer.
I can read
So
your mind.
compared to the end of last season, I think this player is going to improve just because we've
way.
signed Kane.
No way.
And no, it's not going to be something crazy, right? It's not.
I know who you're going with.
Sadio Mane.
No. No. He didn't play any role or much of a role under Tuchel, but I think with Kane in front of him, he's gonna go back. Maybe not back to his prime, but one last dance, and that is Thomas Müller. I think Thomas Müller and Kane are going to cook in a way, similar to the duo of Müller and Lewandowski. So yeah, my answer is a small and quiet Müller revival on the number 10 position.
Okay, I'll ask this for chat. For those guys watching, let me know in the comment section. How many of you, because we just looked it up, and if you have a look on the screen, well, actually you can't see it here, so that's perfect. I'm a liar. If I go to profile and you look at Muller's contract, his ends at the end of this season in 2024. So let's assume that this is his final season. All right. How many of you think he's gonna be the most improved? And most importantly, how many of you think that Miller's gonna have a good season this season? Because this is the first time he's had injuries, really. He's been a player that has had nearly 0 injuries. It's the first time he's had injuries. So how many of you think that Müller can still improve? Or do you think we've already seen the best of Müller and now it's all downhill from here?
And we have to consider his age, right? How much more can he actually improve? Like, he can play better, but as a player, he's not going to improve. I think if he just gets minutes, he'll show that he can still be a good player, but he won't get significantly better than what we've seen.
Yeah, and not better than his prime, which was in 15, 16, and then again in 20. What I mean is compared to what we've seen last season from him under Tuchel, which is basically nothing. So yeah, that's what the angle I wanted to go with, because Müller is one of the last players that I actually care about, and yeah.
Damn, you don't like the TikTokers and Twitch streamers on our team. Disgusting.
No, I don't like people who react to the Sidemen charity match. No.
What's a Sideman? What's that? Am I showing my age here? Oh no, I'm showing my age here. Okay. Anyway, Toby, Tia. How you doing?
Good. What about you?
I'm great. I'm having a great day today. Look, you've missed the first 2, 4, this one 5. Yeah. So I'll just quickly ask you for your player of the season, and we'll just kind of go through this list just to see what your thoughts are on the prediction for this upcoming season. Who do you think will be our player of the season?
I'm guessing it's gonna be Musiala. It's a simple guess, but I think it's gonna be Musiala.
Okay.
Also, I'm going with top scorer. I think he will play first, and Müller will be the substitute. It's minute 60 or so. I don't think Müller is going to be a starting player under Tuchel. Is my guess. So I think Musiala will have about 10 to 12 goals and 10 to 15 assists, or something like that.
Okay. Well, Kane, a top scorer.
I have not seen enough from him. The game versus Leipzig was very unlucky, and I think you cannot. Oh my God, what's the word? You cannot.
Judge him?
Yeah, judge. Yeah, judge him from this 30 minutes he played there, because he was not. How long was he there? 20 hours? 12 hours. So we see after Bremen we maybe be a bit. Maybe see.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
Yeah, top assister. I'm guessing it's gonna be Musiala or Kane, one of them. So they're gonna put each other goals. I'm guessing like Sané and Gnabry gonna be at 6 or 7, like something like that. Not that high, but not that low. Breakout season. Oh, that's a hard one. The thing is a breakout season someone already had, or is it something like the player never had one?
So he can have one. He can have one again. Like, let's say I'll give an example. Actually, I can't think of an example. No, I'll give an example. Davis had his breakout season in 2020. He could have another one this year, where he says, you know what, I'm that guy again. I'm that guy again. I'm that left back again. He could have that season again.
If he's going to play, I will say Mazraoui. If he's gonna play, I would say Mazraoui.
Okay.
But I think Tuchel will play Pavard, and I want to see like 3 at the back and Davis as a wingback and Mazraoui as a wingback. They're perfect players for wingback position, But it's just my opinion. So I'm going with Mazraoui.
Okay. And then finally, who do you think is going to be the most improved player?
Is this
So who
also
goes
like,
from a 6 to an 8?
Okay, so also someone who could have been improved before. That's a hard one. I hope Upamecano.
Thank you.
I hope.
Thank you. Someone else that thinks like me. Every year I say he's going to be our most improved.
The thing is, he is an easy guess because he has to improve to stay. He is too inconsistent. He is a good player, but he is too inconsistent. And I don't know where I heard it, but this idea we need a 6. Yeah. What about playing him on the 6th just for one game to test him?
No. That has been an idea that people have been saying for years. It's the same thing when people used to say that Boateng could play as a 6, and then we played him as a 6 for I think it was like a half or something under Guardiola, and that just did not work.
Yeah, and the players who could have been on a 6. I mean, what the fuck? Moises Caicedo, how much is he? 135 million euros? What the? I cannot believe this anymore. And what this? Where's Chelsea getting all this financial stuff? I mean, didn't they also sign Lavia for 50 million? What the?
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
And they bought. Who did they buy today? They bought someone else today.
From yeah, financial fair play, of course. No?
Money.
Okay, they aren't playing European this season anyway, right? So they don't care.
But yeah, they it's not necessarily so ruining the transfers. It is Chelsea.
And which team could have been fined by the UEFA? I think it was Köln with that one guy. There, the UEFA has a big eye on, but Chelsea do that.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Have I asked everyone who their most improved player will be? think so, right?
Yeah.
I think,
I've
right?
asked him,
Yeah.
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 I don't think I've given my answer yet. But like I said, for me, there are two options. One is Davis. I think Davis either is either the most improved or most disappointing. On the second, for me personally, is I already said mine. I already said mine. McConnell. Yeah. Every year I believe it, and this year I believe it too. He's going to be the most improved. I'm going to be disappointed, but I believe it. So, speaking of being disappointed, who will be the most disappointing? Who wants to start? Who wants to kick us off? Let's go with who have I not heard from in a while? Let's go with Daniel.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Upamecano.
Oh, come
Not
on.
shocking, but yeah, I don't know, because
Hashtag believe.
he's 24 now. He's gonna be 25 in October. He's not like a young kid anymore who we can give time to learn. He's kind of growing into the mid-aged player who should be going into the prime of their career. He still has the bozo moments. On the ball, he doesn't look comfortable at times when there's pressure on him, like the amount of unforced errors he did against City. I really don't see it improving. I think he can do well in the Bundesliga games where the teams won't put as much pressure on him, but I really think there's a reality where he has a shocker in the big games and we end up moving him on next summer to maybe like a PSG or something, because I really don't know how he's going to remove those bozo genes from his game.
Shame. Shame. So much shame. Why is it always Upamecano? Right?
his
Can we
fault.
all agree that last season, in the first half of the season, until after the World Cup, until the City game, he was great. Okay, good.
Hey, he's inconsistent. Inconsistent. That's the only thing about him. He's inconsistent.
Yeah, but here the
He
reason
has
I
this
say that-
unforced errors, like
Yeah.
in too many times for a world-class defender. You know.
Yeah,
So did Boateng, so did Dante, and we still won a Champions League with
But
them.
when the thing is, when I had Boateng on the ball, I felt safe. When I see Boateng, sometimes I don't know what he's doing. It's from my perspective, you know.
because the thing is, Upamecano is the expectations are so high. That's why I think he can be the most disappointing, because you want him to do good in the big stage, the big games, the big Champions League nights, and I don't think he will, which is why I think he's going to be the most disappointing, because the expectation for him this season is to be the best defender, quote unquote, for us, but I don't think he'll do that. So that's why I put him at most disappointing.
Okay, I understand, Daniel. I understand that you think that Upamecano is going to be the most disappointing player of the season. Nagelsmann, you're a sunshine and ray of happiness and positivity. So let me ask you about some negativity. Who is going to be the most disappointing? Actually, I don't think he's here currently.
Oh no, I'm here. If I have to say one, honestly, this might be a hot take, but Tuchel was so angry with De Ligt. He even changed him, substituted him in the halftime, right? He brought in Kim. I'm not saying he will be the disappointment of the season, but I don't think he will be. I don't think he will be a guaranteed starter. I don't think so. It could be
And you think
Upamecano.
Upamecano is gonna start? Come on, be serious.
Nah, I'm for real now.
The guy who didn't play after his mistake against City, he basically was a bench rider after that point.
I would even bet money that Upamecano will start on Friday. Upamecano and Kim will start on Friday.
How much? How much?
I have no money. I would bet if I had
No,
money.
you said you'll even bet money. Come on, you can't say that. Not bet anything. All right.
Because I have no. But
All right.
I'm saying, I generally believe that Upamecano and Kim will start on Friday. And but my biggest disappointment is, I think this season it could be Gnabry. I think it could be Gnabry because, and the only thing why I say this is because I'm always disappointed in him, but somehow he managed to get good stats, right? But this season he will not even have the good stat.
Okay, I'm going to ask
So
a question for everyone here then. Just a very quick question. Who, in your opinion, was the most disappointing last season?
Goretzka.
I think last
I-
season for me was Kimmich.
Goretzka is not the same anymore. I don't know what about him, but I don't like his art of playing anymore. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's my opinion.
The reason I asked that question because I would think I would think that people would say that Gnabry was the most disappointing last season. Does anyone here think that? It doesn't seem like it. Okay, maybe I'm on my own then. Okay, cool. So you think Gnabry? No, I don't enjoy it. So that's a yes. What about you, Tausif? Who is
The thing
the
is,
most
with disappointments, is that you have to have hope
Expectation.
before.
Yep.
Yeah, like expectations. Like I know all of our wingers are going to have a shit season. Like Coman, Sani, Gnabry, they're all going to disappoint me in a way. But I already expect that. Same goes for Goretzka. One person, like I've got two people on my mind who everyone has high expectations for, but I don't. One I've already mentioned is Davies, and the other one would be Musiala. I think everyone's expecting him to reach like as Daniel said, I think it was Daniel, to reach like potentially the status of one of the best players in all of Europe, and I can, but I think he's just gonna stay on his level that he had last season, and he's just not gonna improve or just not going to make the jump that we expect from him. So but most people won't realize it because Musiala is one of the most overprotected players at all of Bayern. Him and Davies. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Musiala.
Okay. Hopefully, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything until it's my turn. To channel my inner Skip Bayless. It's my turn. No. Daniel,
Mhm.
what about you?
I already went for the most disappointing. I said Upamecano.
Ah.
But I think my second option is Kimmich. I think he can be up there. I feel like he'll complain a lot and then maybe not perform, but I'm gonna stick with Upamecano.
Jeez Louise. Okay. Toby. What about you?
Disappointment of the season. Disappointment of the season. The thing is, could it be a disappointment if the player performs but not on a level I would expect? Like if Harry Kane only scores 15 goals, is it a disappointment?
That would have been my third option, by the way, Harry Kane.
The thing is, many people said Harry Kane is plug and play. You set him in the front and it will work. I have to see if it works. So after 3 games and he would not perform, I would say Harry Kane will be the disappointment of the season. But at this point, I would go with Kimmich.
Okay, I'll say one thing. So I'm not going to give my answer yet. I'm going to let Mido go next. But I just want to say this. The reason why I don't think Harry Kane could ever be the disappointment of the season is because he's a striker. And we judge strikers based on 2 things, but it's really one thing, but 2 things. And those are goals and assists. He's going to get goals just from being a penalty kick scorer. Just from that alone, he's going to get at least 15 goals. So I don't think, if he has 25 goals in all competition, will it be a bit disappointing? Sure. Will it be the most disappointing? No. Because just from penalties alone, I think he could get like 15 to 20. So that's why I don't think he can be the most disappointing. Can he be disappointing? Sure. I don't think most. But Mido, who is your most disappointing prediction. Well, your prediction for most disappointing player for the 2023-2024 season.
For me, Alphonso Davies, I would say, just because I know he had a very good game against Liverpool in the preseason. He pocketed Mo Salah, but there was times that over the seasons, last season, and especially, like since this guy is linking up with speed and this YouTubers and things like that, sometimes you think that his focus is not there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Guerrero, like at some part of the season, sees the game time more and regular because of Tuchel knowing him well. So for me, I would say Alphonso Davies.
That's fair. That's fair. Davies for me is probably. I was gonna say second on my list, but now I'm thinking about it. It goes back to what Towersif was saying a bit earlier, which is that to be disappointed, you need to have expectations in the first place. So the player I was going to say was Goretzka, but I've got no expectations for Goretzka. I don't expect anything of him. So I'll say this instead. Who is the right? You know what? This question is difficult now because I need to think, and I don't want to go with. Yeah, actually, you know what? Okay. You know how I said that Upamecano was going to be the most improved player? He's also the most disappointing because I've got the expectation of him to hopefully improve. So now that I've got that expectation of him, he's going to let me down again. I just know it. And then come next season, I'm going to be like, you know what? He's going to be rid of the Bozo gene, finally. It's finally time. He's going to improve this season, and he's going to disappoint me again. Like he does every single year. Every single year, I expect him to get rid, be gone, forgo, abandon, disband the Bozo gene. And every year, I'm disappointed. So it's Upamecano for me. Now, here's a fun one. Here's a fun one, but it's also not a big one. Best signing. And the reason why it's not a big one is because we've done what? 1 signing in Kane, 2 signing in Kim, 3 in Guerrero, 4 in Lima. So we've done 4 signings. So best signing is really not a big question. It's a 25% chance that we all agree. I'll start. Who wants to go first? You know what?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because for me it was easier because earlier I selected player of the season for Kim. I would put Kim Min-jae just because the guy is a beast, and a lot of people will see I said that earlier. So for me, it's Kim Min-jae.
Simple.
Yeah, for me, I'd second that. I have Kim as my answer.
Okay. These are going by quick, and I think Nigel said Kane.
Yeah, that's okay.
What I heard. Yep. So Toby and Daniel, you're the only two. Well, besides me, you're the only two left.
I put Kane at player of the season, but best signing, I'm going to look at it pound for pound, like how much money we spend versus quality of player. I'm going to go Kim Min-jae for that one, just because I think that he's a great defender. He's a great athlete. He can pass the ball really well. He brings leadership qualities. He's done it in every league he's played in. So I think pound for pound, I'm going to give it to Kim Min-jae.
That makes no sense.
How?
Because if you're going pound for pound, then clearly one of the 2 free signings that didn't cost us any money would be the best.
No, you know I don't rate Limer, and then Guerrero, he's injured. So I don't think, nah. Pound for pound, I'm not giving it.
All right. Toby?
Yeah, for me it's clear one. All the games I watched him, I was amazed by him. Konrad Laimer. It's me, Konrad Laimer. He will play. He's over Goretzka now.
Well, the fact that Goretzka is a waste man means that Laimer's gonna have plenty of games.
Yeah, you
So-
also could put the Gravenberg there, but no one is giving this guy a chance, so he will never be a starting player.
Yeah.
Maybe if Van Gaal
True,
comes
true.
back.
You know, if I'm going at it pound for pound, I know nobody's mentioned pound for pound yet, but if I'm going pound for pound, I can't pick any of the players that have a price because I'm thinking smart. I'm thinking about pound for pound, Pound
Okay,
for pound.
okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
I'm going. I actually don't know who I'm going. I'll be honest. I think Guerrero's going to have the breakout season. I just don't know how long he's going to be injured for. He's going to be our best signing. I just don't know how long he's going to be injured for. Because, as you all know, I'm not a fan of Davis, and I think Guerrero can like make up for that. And I also think that if he's healthy, he can make up for that in midfield as well. So he's going to fill both roles, and just for that alone, I think he's going to be our most important. And because he's free, he's going to be our pound for pound best signing. Now, here's the thing. And this question here is very interesting. Will Tuchel be sacked mid-season? And the reason why I find this question very interesting, because earlier in the most disappointing, nobody mentioned Tuchel. Not a single person mentioned
Yeah, I think
Tuchel.
because everyone just thought about players. And the
Players,
coach
exactly.
was not mentioned.
I was thinking of mentioning Tuchel, but I figured I'm going to save it for this one. So, will Tuchel be sacked mid-season?
He will have to
Depends.
go.
Depends.
Yeah, will have to go absolutely horrible because the board backed him heavily. They gave him all these players. Plus, it's not there's no Khan there. Khan is always quick to make decisions. So I expected reason, and the more experienced, he's more experienced and he's been in the business for a while. So considering all this, I think he will get enough time. But if he goes like bad, so say next 10 games we get like 3-4 wins, then that might be that. Then definitely, yeah, I would say. But he will have to go really bad, basically.
So is your answer he's not going to get sacked then? Unless, because you don't think it's going to go that bad?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. I think we'll just go from the bottom up then. So, Toby, what about you?
I wonder what the scenario would look like if he's gonna be sacked mid-season. Who would replace him? There's literally no one.
There is one.
Right?
Xavi Alonso.
Zidane.
Xavi Alonso
Zizou.
from Leverkusen has
Yeah.
a clause where you can.
No,
buy
he
him
just
from.
extended his contract. He's just extending his contract this summer.
Is there a player who has retired who could? No. Oh, Philipp Lahm is there. Has he? No.
Ancelotti.
Einsteiger?
Schwarzenegger, come on now.
I thought Ancelotti is at the Seleção at 2024. I thought he has a contract ready.
He's gonna get sacked mid-season.
What about Nagelsmann coming back? Because he's still in contract with us.
I would much rather Thomas Muller be a player coach for a season.
Oh, feel that.
Shut up, Quint.
It's the truth.
I think in the last stream I wasn't present, but I was in the comments and I was already saying he's going to be sacked by December. That's what I believe. And then Nagelsmann is going to come back, and Nagelsmann and I will be in the first row at the Allianz Arena with our signs saying, "Prince, you fraud, we were right."
Daniel, please go. I have a completely different theory on that.
Yeah, I don't think you can sack Tuchel. There's no way you can sack him. You have to keep him. One, because the players need consistency. Like, you look at Kimmich, he's had 8 managers at Bayern. Musiala, Kimmich, Davies, their contracts are up in the air. You want to extend them so you don't lose an asset. They're not going to stay if you just keep sacking and firing managers, because we look at Klopp and Pep. Their first seasons at each respective team was not good. You have to give these coaches time to develop. You can't sack him this season. You have to give him time to develop and make his team the way he wants it to be. And there's no one out there who's better than him. So I think you have to keep him. There's no scenario where he can go unless he loses every game, but that's not going to happen.
Interesting. Go on then, hit us.
Now,
hit us.
listen.
Here we go.
By
By the way,
one
quick thing. His name is Nesri Irukunda. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Watch. Now everyone thinks if like people believe if Tuchel gets sacked, Nagelsmann would take the job. I don't think he would.
No, nobody
I don't think he
believes
would.
that. We're just trolling about that. Nobody actually
Nah.
believes that, I think.
I
No,
think he would take
why
it.
would he not just
No, he
quit
would
one?
take
Because
it.
No.
he would
would.
take
All I'm
it.
saying is he has a bit like even if he's quite young and is doing job, you have to have some kind of respect to yourself. You know what I mean? Hey, you just got sacked and now you call him back to say, "Oh, it's all fine. I take the job back." You know what I
But
mean?
Nagelsmann, I just the guys that sacked him are not longer here, so Khan and Browser, so you can look at that way. Maybe you might think
All
different
right. I'm
management.
not saying you would never do it, but what I'm saying now, listen. Tuchel will survive until like September. I say late of September. You know what happens in September? You know what will
It's
happen?
September. We're in August. Of course, it's going to survive until September. The club literally
Nah.
signed a player for 100 million for him.
I don't act like no one else can use him. It's Harry Kane. It's like every manager could use a Harry Kane. But what I'm saying is, now listen. Tuchel will be sacked in the same time. Hansi Flick will be sacked at the DFB and will come back to Bayern.
We are not
And the
doing
reason
this. No. We are not
the
doing this
reason I'm saying
downward
this
spiral.
is because the Brazzo's gone, Khan is gone. Uli Hoeneß was always in favor of keeping Hansi Flick. He always said he's someone who can see a long time manager career at Bayern. He thinks, oh, it's the DFB. It's the DFB team is shit. It's not Hansi Flick. And and Hansi Flick would be like, oh, okay, let me go. Let me come back. Brazzo's not here anymore. Why would I not go back to Bayern? And after he gets sacked at DFB, Tuchel will take over the DFB. This will be their
What
most
is this
insane.
what is this nepotism nonsense? Why are we playing chairs? Just like, oh yeah, here you sit here, and then oh no, now I'm sitting there, and now you're sitting here again. You're just
but-
asking for a downfall, aren't you?
All I'm saying is, Uli Hoeneß and Rummenigge, they both appreciated Flick, and that's a known fact. If Flick is available, they will ask him, and I don't think Flick will say no.
Why? What have I done to deserve this? Going from one fraud in Nagelsmann, going from one fraud in Flick to another fraud in Nagelsmann to another fraud now in Tuchel to another fraud back to Flick. You know what?
No,
Tuchel is not going to get sacked. He's going to be the first Bayern coach to not get sacked in a long time. All right? He's going to survive the season. And you want to know how I know he's going to survive the season? Because I know who's going to come in the following season. I know who's going to come in, and it's going to be...
If you said Xabi Alonso, you are not serious.
It's not, no. I'm not after nepotisms, all right? Just because he played here doesn't mean that he should, return here. Like, he hasn't proven anything yet, all right? Here's who I think will join us, all right? After this season. Do I say it? Do I speak evil into this world? Yes, I will speak
Do
evil
it.
into this world. Miroslav Klose.
What?
Oh, shut up.
I'm serious.
where is he? Is he still in Austria?
No, he got sacked.
So he was the coach of the Bayern second team, right? Then
Yeah.
went to Austria and got sacked there. Is that his career so far as a coach? Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
You
The
know
Matthias
what I
might be
think that's
better
going to
shout
happen? No. You know who else could come in? Effenberg.
But Flick guess is more realistic.
What? Effenberg, that guy who was coach for Paderborn. And,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Mario Basler. Why not?
Guys, please. You laughed at me for Flick. Now, please laugh just as loud for this.
You know, a realistic scenario, Klopp gets sacked mid-season, Tuchel gets sacked, and then Bayern get Klopp, so.
No.
Yeah, that would be
Mario
amazing.
Basler.
If Tuchel gets sacked, bring in Mourinho.
Look at
Oh
this
my
aura.
god!
Might
No,
as well.
I hate
Yes!
Mourinho's football.
Yes,
I
please!
hate Mourinho's football as much as I hate Diego Simeone's football.
No, we need Mourinho at Bayern. Please,
I hate
please.
this guy. I hate him.
We would finally be up again. We would finally look good again. We would finally be successful again. We would finally be organized again. We'd finally have FC Hollywood back again. Oh, please, Mourinho,
Yeah.
please. I've been begging for this for years.
You know what? The thing that Deli Ellie story he told. That's where my hate of Mourinho got even harder. Like he talked to him like that. So
Mourinho is the goat.
was it in All or Nothing Tottenham? Oh, right.
After leaving a bit, let me just go through my the things quick because
All right. I just want to very quickly appreciate the aura that Effenberg. Look at him. This is going to be our future manager in front of Dortmund. You know, while he's won 5-0.
Yeah, Bayern relegated with this guy.
Wait, fast. Bundesliga. I'm going Leipzig. Biggest threat to
Come
the
on, be
title.
serious. Come on.
Okay.
No, okay. I'm going with Bayern, but I'm going biggest.
You just read my title. That's all. You just read my title and thought, you know what? I'm going to play into it.
No. I'm saying Bundesliga, Bayern, biggest threat, Leipzig. Dave people call. I'm going Leipzig. Or wait, we do. Do we say how far Bayern goes, or do we say win?
Sure. Well, it's who wins, but if you want to also say how far Bayern goes, go for it.
Bayern third round, but I think Leipzig will take it again. Champions League, I'm saying semis.
Semis?
Yeah.
Do you mean like
with a
semis
good
of the
draw?
group stage?
Yeah.
So you expect Tuchel to get sacked? Do you expect us to get to the semis?
Yeah. You just read my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Why should that not
All
be
right.
possible with Flick?
Flick is the biggest fraud ever. He's a bigger fraud than Nagelsmann. Anyway, okay, I understand Nagelsmann, Joy. I understand
I
that
will
you
listen
hate
to
Bayern.
this after. See you. Bye.
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 Ah, my goodness. All right, Bundesliga. Let's talk about Bundesliga in detail, in depth. Let's discuss actual Bundesliga. Who do you think is going to win the Bundesliga? And where do you think Bayern will end up? Let's start with, previously we did from bottom to top. Let's do from top to bottom right now, with the exception of me, because I never like to answer first. Daniel.
Yeah, it's gonna be Bayern. Obviously, like we've won it so many times in a row now. It's not gonna change. With Harry Kane, it's gonna be way easier now.
Is it
We're
now?
gonna discuss biggest threat here too, or no?
No, just Bundesliga.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Bayern easy. I just don't see anyone else taking the throne away. So
Oh my. Okay. Well, very interesting. So interesting, in fact. I don't even know what to say. What about you, Tausif? Do you know what to say?
I mean, it's not looking good under Tuchel. I still like, even in the friendlies, and I know you shouldn't take friendlies that much into consideration, but even in the friendlies, I personally didn't see any improvements compared to last season. And I know people, like the players, still have to get used to the system of Tuchel and the new players, but yeah, I think it's going to be a similarly difficult season as last season, and with the only exception that last season our biggest competition was Dortmund, and this time around it's going to be Leipzig and it's going to be Leverkusen, and that also answers the next question: who's going to be the biggest threat? It's going to be these two, and these two aren't going to bottle it as much as Dortmund is. So maybe it's possible that we're not going to win it. It's a 50% chance, which is pretty bad for like Bundesliga standards.
Okay, I see. You're a hater. Toby, what about you?
guess is it the 14th time in a row if you win it? Right. Well,
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's so many times I don't even care. I forgot how to count. I can only count to 5.
Isn't it like
I
6 or 12?
guess at the end we will win it, but I think it will be a close race between us, Dortmund, and Leipzig. I would say we will finish with 75, 73, something like that, in the 70s with the points. But we will lose our games versus Gladbach and Augsburg. That's an unwritten law, you know. Yeah, that's all. I think we will do it the 14th time in a row. It's the Bundesliga, so.
All right. Okay. No doubt in your mind. No doubt in your mind. Is there any doubt in yours, though, Mido?
The Bundesliga teams now, they don't fear us anymore. Actually, the games are like more like a lot less. It's not like as predictable as it used to be. But our squad, the quality we have, I still believe we will win it. I don't trust Leipzig. They're all kids. I mean, they will be bad in the cups or knockout games, but they'll probably drop points against smaller games, Heidenheim or things like that. But I still believe Dortmund will be our biggest competitor. I'm interested to see how Alonso does his full season with Bayer Leverkusen, but we will be too strong for these teams. Our squad is too good. Harry Kane and all these players will just, I don't see it.
All right. Well, you're all wrong. Because the club that's going to win is Leverkusen. I know.
I wouldn't mind.
Leverkusen. Vizekusen. I know. Say it loudly, say it proudly. But
The Tottenham of Germany.
Yes, and we've got the Tottenham star. So our bottler gene has now surpassed him.
Yeah.
Imagine Kane not winning a trophy this season. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. Leverkusen first, Leipzig second, Bayern third, Dortmund fourth.
Come on, be real.
Come on, man.
I am real.
Third?
Yes. Because what I think is going to happen, it goes back to what I said earlier. Tuchel is likely to get sacked. And we're going to... Well, I said Tuchel isn't going to get sacked. That's my expectation. But realistically, I know he's going to get sacked. Right? Realistically, I know there's no way a manager lasts more than a year at Bayern. That just doesn't happen. All right? It hasn't happened in a long time. So he's going to get sacked. And then we're going to get some banter coaching. We're going to get Klose in. I was joking about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like serious. Like, we're actually going to get Klose in. Or we're going to get Effenberg in. So, I don't know. I don't expect much from us. And Leverkusen had, I don't know whether they had the best form of all Bundesliga team towards the end of last season, or whether they were like top 3, but they were very high up. And I'm putting my neck out there because, everyone else is obviously going to say us. People are going to say Leipzig. I don't think anyone's going to say Dortmund, really, because Dortmund have lost all the good players and they haven't really replaced them. So it's really between us and Leipzig, but I'm going Leverkusen. I just feel it. You know how typical it would be if, like, the Spurs of Germany, Leverkusen, wins the Bundesliga the second we get Spurs' best ever player. The memes would be so bad that Bayern fans would have to hide. There'd be no more Twitter. There'd be no more Bayern FT. That would be gone. It would just be Bayern hiding in their sink. So, Leverkusen first.
So will what was the new director's name? Christopher Freund was his name. Is he going to be involved in any? If Tuchel's going to be sacked, will it be him who's going to do the decisions?
No, I think he's only for the players, or is he for the manager as well?
Sport director.
Director,
like Brazzo's position.
Yeah. So will he not be? He will be the boss of Tuchel, isn't he? Like he's the sport director. So I don't like he's new to the job, so I don't think he would wanna. But it wouldn't be only him, I assume. So I guess
that's why pressure would be on him. You know, if he's relatively new to the job, so pressure would be on him if he sees the team not perform, and he would then act. And then he would get an interim solution, and then like come the summer, he's gonna have like his fingerprint on everything.
You know, like one thing I'm concerned, like Daniel said it earlier, it's like the team just changing coaches all the time. Even Davies' agent said there's so much going on, like last year, so he wanted to wait until like to
Oh, I
see
hope he
what's
gets
going on.
sold.
So, so I mean, like it's not good environment. Like, just I'm really hoping Tuchel gets his shit together, but it's not like the best. Like just changing all the coaches and all the time and stuff. So.
Oh, I agree. I hope Tuchel gets his shit together and turns the team around. But do I expect that? At this point, I'm jaded. I guess I don't believe in anything anymore. I'm expecting the worst. I'm not even expecting the best, and then the worst happens. I'm just expecting the worst, and even worse is gonna happen. So that's where I'm at personally. If Leverkusen win, we can at least say that Xabi Alonso, who studied at
I want
basically
him at Bayern.
Then
I
there's
really
a
want
question
him
of
at
can he
Bayern.
go to Bayern? But yeah, I know some of you answered this question already. Some of you haven't. Biggest threat to the title, and this really goes to. I mean, let's put it this way: biggest threat to the title in all competition, so not just Bundesliga. And I'll give you my answer first, just since I've never given my answer first. Biggest threat in the Bundesliga, Leverkusen. Biggest threat in the DFB Pokal, I don't think they're out. I'd have to check, and I didn't check. Gladbach. If we face Gladbach in any round of the DFB Pokal, we're out. Like, that's our biggest threat. If we can avoid them, we win. And the biggest threat in the Champions League, City. That's my thoughts.
That's all wrong. We only got one threat, and that's ourselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's deep.
oh my.
Confident man.
Mr. Philosopher over here. Sorry, Plato. I thought I read The Cave 5 years ago, not today. My goodness. Well, does anyone share Taosif's notion that the biggest threat to our victory is ourself?
No, I don't. I would say in this case, if we had a squad like 2013, for example, when we had, then we could say, but our squad, there are teams better than us, not in Bundesliga, but in Europe for sure. Like Man City, for example. Madrid midfield, I don't know, it's debatable, but Bundesliga, we are the best team. So that maybe what Tosif is saying, that goes for the Bundesliga, but in Europe, I think top three, there are 2-3 teams better than us. So I would say Dortmund, and then in Europe, I would say Madrid and Man City, and the Pokal, probably Gladbach here.
It doesn't matter how good we get or how bad we are, we're still going to lose to Gladbach. Like, we could be the best team in world football, I would still lose to Gladbach. How funny is that? Toby, what about you?
Biggest threat to title is like in competitive way, not like I'm afraid to lose in Augsburg, I'm afraid to lose in Gladbach, like this. So I'm going with classic
Here's
one,
a-
Dortmund.
Go. All right, simple.
DFB Pokal, anything where we play away. And Freiburg, of course, Gladbach and Leipzig. And Champions League, if it's in direct duel, it's City, and I would say like Real Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, I think you're the only one that hasn't answered yet. Although I'm going to change my answer.
For biggest threat to the title, I'm going to go Leipzig, just because I think they've had a better summer than Dortmund. I don't think Dortmund replaced Bellingham that well, and Mencha. I don't really rate him too much. And then I think the psychological aspect of losing the title on the last match day is really going to hurt Dortmund this season, so I don't see them competing. So I think it's going to be Leipzig in the Bundesliga. I think Cup, it's going to be Leipzig again. In the Champions League, City are the current champions, so you have to respect them and say they're our biggest threat to the Champions League.
Fair. I'm going to change my answer from what I said,
Me too.
which was Leverkusen, Gladbach, and City. I'm going to change it to Saudi Arabia.
What?
They might snipe our players.
Take Goretzka. Please snipe
Like
Goretzka.
who?
Goretzka.
Coleman already said no for 100 million. Like no player would say. Like if you come into an end of your career, like I mean, and you offered crazy money, but because Bayern players contract situations, I don't know. Davies, I don't think he would go to Saudi now. He's too young.
If I was David, if I was David, I'd go. You make generational wealth. Oh, absolutely. I'm off for 2 years. I make generational wealth, and then I can just chill and relax. Relax and all cool. You know, shooting some b-ball outside of a school when a couple of guys who up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight. Sorry, I got off topic here. I would go. I don't care how old I am. I'd go. If I was the next Messi, right, and I was like 16 years old, and Saudi Arabia said, you know what, we'll offer you $1 billion. Yeah, I'm off. I don't care. I am off, and I'm never returning. Now let's go back to the DFB Carl. How many of you think that we're going to win it?
I think we're winning.
Oh, come on. You don't even believe that yourself.
No. I told you. My prediction is treble. Harry Kane wins the Euros, and then he gets Ballon d'Or.
Oh, sure.
I would love it.
If England wins the Euros, I'm gonna quit football.
Oh, I have a question. Like now that we have the England captain, does it change for you guys? Do you have like a soft spot for England, or like
I hate
No,
the English fans,
the same?
but
no. My own mother could be playing for England. I would still hate them.
The day I don't hate England, the day I don't mock England when they lose, is the day I'm in my grave, 10 feet under, buried. That's the only time I won't mock England. But every other time, trust me, 2010 was the best day of my life. When Germany knocked England out, I think I've told this story like 100 times. I was the next day when I went to school, I was mocking everybody. Everybody got in my path. Everyone that was in front of me, I laughed at them. Everyone that I knew watched football, I laughed at them. I came home that day with about 10,000 punches received and about 10,000 kicks, and it was still the greatest day of my life because I got to laugh at everyone's face when Germany beat England. The greatest day of my life. Trust me. When England lost, was it against Italy? Woo! That was a day. I went out to the streets to celebrate. Now, granted, there was a little of like a tension going on because the only players that missed for England during that penalty shootout were black players. So there's a bit of tension going on. That was the only time where I went to town. And I was like, ooh, there's a lot of tension going on right now. And I wasn't as comfortable taunting people. But oh my goodness, if England lose, look, I'm throwing a party. That's all I'm gonna say. And you're all invited. You're all invited. You're all invited. But no. Absolutely not. Anyway, besides Daniel, who thinks that we're going to win the treble, Tausif, what do you think about the DFB Cup? Will Bayern win it? Bayern hasn't won it since, I think, 2020. So it's been 3 years. It will be 4 years now.
Yeah,
We've been humiliated in it year after year, every single year.
Yeah, I think knockout games are not the forte of our current team. I hate to throw the mentality word around, but I think like league game is something different. You know, you've got 33 other games to essentially rectify your error. But knockout game, once things go south, it's just over for Bayern. I also wanted to change my answer for the previous question. I think the two biggest threats to Bayern Munich in all competitions are A. Upamecano, B. Nick Salihamidic's Twitter account. Yeah, so these are my answers.
All right. Red Devil Studio, how you doing? I hope you are fine. If you know what, it feels like you're more confident than Bayern fans are, which is funny. Because Bayern fans are not confident about the squad, about the team, about what they can win at all. Whereas like everyone else that doesn't watch Bayern as much, they're like, yeah, Bayern, the Bundesliga, they've got it on lock. They're gonna win it for the 50th, for the 500th time in a row with no issues. And Bayern fans are just like, no, we're not gonna win it this year. I mean, I was in third.
Yeah, I think people outside, they just look at the squad on paper. It looks because we watch it closer and we know who's good. Like someone was arguing me the other day that Goretzka was like one of the best midfielders. He's never watched him in his life, and just so people just look at in the FIFA ratings probably, but because we know Bayern better and we look into it more, so that's why. Like if we get number 6, I would be a lot more confident doing like going all the way in the Champions League. But with the current midfield, we will come short in like quarterfinals in the Champions League, something like that.
Fair. Toby, dear people, Carl, in your humble opinion, will we win it?
I was on my phone now. Can you say what the topic is?
Dear people, Carl, will Bayern win it?
It depends. But if we go to the final, yes. But if we face Leipzig or Gladbach before the final, no.
So much hope.
When we face Gladbach or Leipzig in the final, we will win it. Definitely.
I mean, look, let's be honest. If we face Gladbach at any stage, at any place, anywhere, we're losing. We can't beat that team. So that's a given. But even saying that about Leipzig now, you don't think Bayern can win against Leipzig in the DFB Pokal? I find that very interesting.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound very positive.
Nah, not at all.
Mito, you have different thoughts. Are you positive? Come on, say something positive. We're all down right now. None of us fit. Well, actually, no. Daniel said we're going to win a treble, so he's positive. Can you be positive as well, or are you just realistic?
You know what? I have a funny feeling Atletico Madrid will knock some big team out in the Champions League. So if they do that favor for us and knock Man City out, then the rest of the team, we have a chance to face in anyone, including Madrid. So as long as Man City is...
not the Champions League.
Oh, Pokal. You know what? I don't honestly care about Pokal much, but because domestically, I don't know. I want something in Europe. I feel we will win it this year. Yeah, we will win it this year. It's been like 3 years since we last won it, and I feel we will win it. Yeah.
Goodness. I mean, look, I'll go right back to then in a second and ask you about the Champions League because you weren't in a row right now. I'll just give you my answer in regards to the DFB Pokal. I think we're gonna lose it to Gladbach. Gladbach us final. We're losing it 7-0. That's what
7.
Yeah. With Meccano with 3 own goals and then Gladbach, they just Gladbach us.
That would be his last day in the job.
It will be.
Yeah, maybe top scorer of Meccano with own goals.
I'll cry. I'll cry myself to sleep, and that will probably be the last day of this channel. I know I say that all the time, that this is going to be the last day of my channel when X and Y happens. And a few times it's happened, and it's still not the end, but, we're here.
Yeah, we lost our best own goal scorer in Süle last season, so own goal it's not that much anymore.
I was that confident that we were going to win it. That we were going to win the Bundesliga last season, that I said that if Dortmund win, I'd delete the channel, and yet here we are. That's how I know Dortmund is never winning it. But somehow I believe that Leverkusen will this season. Am I crazy?
I actually wouldn't mind. It would be nice to see them win.
I feel like I'm crazy, but maybe not. Anyway, back to you, Mito. Champions League. What are your prediction for the Champions League? I know you already started them with Atletico Madrid for some reason. Who are beefing with their own players.
I just have a funny feeling that this will be like one of those years they knock a big team out. So if City is still in it, I think I would say quarterfinals without number 6 current squad. Yeah, if we get like Florentino Luis, for example, like a solid DM, then I think semifinals or something like that. But if someone knocks Atletico Man City out for us, yeah, don't say no. I don't know. It's difficult with this one, but I will say quarterfinals.
Finals.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Watch out
We
on
just-
like teams like Madrid and Man City, and it's not all midfield is not strong enough to go all the way up. That's what I believe.
We just spent 100-something million on Harry Harold, the first of his name, Kane, and you think quarterfinals is the maximum? Finals
I
minimum.
hope I'm proven wrong.
Finals minimum. With that kind of money spent. Don't you agree, Towsif? Finals minimum.
I think we're gonna like the maximum is if we're lucky. And under Tuchel, we're gonna go out in the round of 16.
Serious right now?
Hmm?
How can you say that after we just spent 100-odd million on a Harold?
After we spent 100 million on the most overrated striker of our generation, yeah.
Oh
I'm
my.
going to spend 100 million on Lewandowski.
Oh my. Interesting. We didn't spend 100 million on Ibrahimovic.
That was the last generation, though.
Oh my. So you don't think much? Well, you said under Tuchel, round of 16. What about not under Tuchel?
Depends on who we're getting. If it's either Flick or Nagelsmann, we're winning the treble. If it's anyone else, it's not going to be an improvement.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion. We're winning the Champions League. The only real competition is City and Real Madrid. Real Madrid didn't get Mbappe, so they don't really have a striker. So I think we'll beat them. Man City, Kevin De Bruyne is injured, as that comment said, and I don't think they'll do it again. They've lost some key figures like Mahrez. So, and on top of that, Harry Kane said this: "I joined this club to have a good chance of winning the Champions League, but for it to be at Wembley is amazing." He's foreshadowed it. We're winning the treble. He's winning the Euros. He gets Ballon d'Or.
All right. Okay, Chief. All right, Chief. We get it. I don't know what they're doing over in America, but I hope you bring some of that good stuff over here, so I can feel the same way. Toby, what are your
Yes.
predictions for the Champions League?
So I got the the teams are not already played the qualifiers, but what are these called in English? Lostopf. Like pot one, pot.
One, yeah.
Pot one. So we will get either Real Madrid, United, Atletico, Porto, Arsenal, or Inter. Minimum, and it's gonna be Arsenal. You know it.
Yeah, we're gonna beat Arsenal, though.
Yeah, we'll win 5-6-0. Number 3 is Salzburg, Milan, Lazio, Red Star Belgrade, Shakhtar Donetsk, and then Real Sociedad, Celtic, Newcastle are not safe there, but could be. I think we will manage to get out of the group, at least a second. Round of 16, I think also we will progress. It depends if we're gonna be second and play against City, not. But I'm guessing quarterfinal will be final station. And you know what? I want to get the team improved, and if it takes to lose at the quarterfinal, it's gonna be. So I have no hopes in the Champions League, if I'm honest.
Okay. So we've got one hopeful person in Daniel, and everyone else is not that hopeful. Well, let me say what you know what? Actually, you know what? No, you know what? Here's my thoughts. Okay? Here are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to the Champions League, and in the group stage, we're going to knock those teams on their asses, and we're going to go for it. We're going to slaughter them. 1, 2, 3 goals. Toof. 1, 2, 3 goals. Toof. Gone. And we're going to go through. Perfect record. no goals conceded with 25 goals scored. And then in the round of 16, you know what we're going to do? We're going to win against Manchester City. We're going to beat City on their ass, knock them on the backside, and they're going to be knocked out. Then in the quarterfinals, Real Madrid will be our opponent. And you know what's going to happen with Real Madrid? They're going to lose. They're going to lose. They're going to cry. They're going to go home and cry. And then the semi-finals come around. And you know what we're going to do? PSG, Mbappe, you think you're all that and shit? Nah, fam, nah. Look, Mbappe, he can cry because he's going to cry because he always cries. Oh, I got rid of Neymar. Now I'm the superstar. Ooh, I got rid of Messi. Now I'm the superstar. Well, you're still not going to win the Champions League, my friend. You can be happy with La Liga, but you're not going to win the Champions League, my friend, because Bayern will win the Champions League. Yes, Bayern knocked PSG out in the semi-finals. And then in the finals, just because I saw him earlier in the chat, it's going to be United. They're going to have a run of their life. I don't know how they're going to get there, but they're going to have a run of their lifetime, and they're going to make it to the finals. And you know who's going to wait for them in the finals? It is Bayern. It's Bayern. Bayern is going to wait for them in the finals, and Bayern is going to be like, nah, you're the Red Devils? Well, we're the Red Beast. We're the Black Beast. La Bestia Negra. And we're going to slaughter you. And that's what's going to happen. Boom, pow, chow, chow, boom. And it's going to be a 5-0 victory. And 4 goals by Harry Kane. He's going to go home. He's going to cry. He's going to sit there. And all the United fans will be like, man, we could have signed Harry Kane, but we didn't. And you know what? I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, yeah, Harry Kane, he is the greatest striker of all time. And that's how it's going to go down. Bayern with an easy clap in the Champions League. We're going to win without conceding a single goal. Kim Min-jae will be, he'll be the king, not Kim. He'll be king. All right? Delict? Nah, there is no light. There is no light. Let there be darkness for our opponents. That's what's going to happen. And we're going to win. Neuer will come out. He'll be in a wheelchair, and somehow he'll still save all the shots. That's what's going to happen. We're going to win the Champions League, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're going to win the Club World Cup. And then we're going to win the World Cup. I don't know how the club's going to play in a World Cup. But the club, they're going to make it a special exception. And Bayern is going to win the World Cup. And quite frankly, then we're going to have a statue. And all of us fans will be there. We'll be celebrating. They'll make a statue for all of us for believing. Hashtag believe. And then we are going to be the champions of the world. FC Bayern. Deutscher Meister. Ja, so heißt mein Verein. Ja, so ist es. Und so wird. Okay, yeah, you get the gist. You get this. Yeah, you get the gist. We're going to be there forever #1. And quite frankly, we're going to look good. All right? We're going to look good. And then I wake up and we're going to be out in the round of 16. That's my predictions. Okay. Okay. No comments to that, which means people believe it. Dane Gill says quarterfinals. Bayern spent 100 million, but these wingers not doing anything. Müller needs to come back and gel with. You know what? Müller's final season. I don't know whether it's going to be his final season or whether he gets a new contract extension, but Müller's final season. You know what's going to happen? Remontada. Remontada, ladies and gentlemen. Remontada. If you don't know what that word means, I don't know what it means either, but I think it's revenge. So revenge is going to be the revenge season. It's remontada from Thomas Müller. Expect it. He's going to score 50 goals and he's going to have 50 assists in all competition.
And when we will have the Saudi teams in the Champions League?
That's about in 4 years' time.
4 years?
Actually, well, we didn't have the Chinese team, so I don't know if we'll have the Saudi teams.
The Chinese project is over. I mean, the only player who is still there is Oscar. And no one cares about Oscar. And the thing is, Oscar, I looked up his story, and from my perspective, I could completely understand why he chose to go to China. It's more, for me, more understandable than Ruben Neves also going to Saudi Arabia.
Okay. I don't understand why, but okay.
Yeah, Oscar is has to decide because he wanted to get his family a good life and give all the money to his family. But I don't know if Ruben Neves is giving everything to his family. Yeah, I don't know if
Plus
everyone
Sims.
has.
I said, these people are Sims. If I'm making that kind of money, I ain't giving that to anyone. I'm spending that on myself. I'm buying a nice little jacuzzi, and then I'm buying a toaster, and I'm buying a air fryer. I'll live on a farm, and that's my life. Nobody will ever see me again.
I'm just wondering where can you watch the fucking Saudi league? I don't know which provider is sending the league. Is it Apple TV? Is it Sky? The Zone? I've never saw somewhere where you can watch it, or have to be in sport or something like that.
Yeah, in America, it's on Fox Sports.
But Fox pay TV, or is it free?
It's free and paid. Like those, for some games they'll show it for free, but you still have to pay.
But I've seen it right? The MLS is completely on Apple TV, so you have to pay now for that.
Yeah.
Okay, but the funny thing is, so many people say, "Oh, Messi performs so well in the MLS. He hasn't even played one game in the MLS yet."
I know.
It's
All
this,
the MLS Cup.
Have
I'm waiting
they-
for today's match. Nashville, my team, Nashville. I was so disappointed. I don't know how many people here watch the MLS Cup. I was so disappointed because they won a penalty shootout, right? They basically scored a 94th minute goal in extra time to get this penalties. And then they conceded the penalty, lose the game. I turned the TV. Well, not the TV. I turned the stream off. You didn't hear that. I did not say stream. You did not hear me say that. But I turned the stream off. And then I go on Twitter 5 minutes later, and they're through. And I'm just thinking to myself, what happened? And then I read up on it, and the goalkeeper moved early on the last penalty, so it was retaken because the VAR came in clutch. All the fans already stormed the ground. All the fans stormed the ground and everything, and then it retook the penalty. And they missed the penalty, and Nashville scored, and they won. And I'm just like, bro. How? How? I'm here for it. So they're playing today. I'm looking forward to it. I like the MLS. I'm a fan of it.
Better than the Saudi League, 100%.
Yeah, the fan culture is, and it's the MLS is like you take this American style presentation. I love the stadiums in the MLS. This one from Atlanta or from the Vancouver Whitecaps, these football stadiums where big LED screens and fireworks when you score a goal. It's awesome. Yeah, it's nice to have this. But what could you compare the quality from the MLS?
Belgium.
Where would Nashville? They are the current champions, right? Where would they finish? No, LAFC. Sorry, Gareth Bale scored the winner. Where would LAFC perform in the Bundesliga? Would they relegate? Would they be in the midfield or in the top 6?
18th.
And
If they won 2 games, I would be shocked.
well, come on, be serious. Be realistic.
If they won 2 games in the Bundesliga, I would be
Be
shocked.
realistic. All
I'm
right.
not joking. If they won 2 games, I'd be shocked.
Look, you need to be realistic. There are better players on the MLS than there are in our team. If you ask me, if I could have 5 MLS players at Bayern, besides Messi, of course, because I think he's the one, and besides Busquets, and besides, Dani Alves. No, not Dani Alves.
Jordi Alba.
Yeah, Jordi Alba. If I could have 5 MLS players at Bayern, Carlos Gil,
Maybe
I have
Riqui Puig, or how is he called?
Nah. I'm not a big fan. I'll definitely have. I'll say that. I'll have Carlos Gil. I'll have 5. Okay, 5 is a bit difficult. I'll have Mukta, not for this season, but for last season. He was a top scorer last season, not so much this season. So there's a little bit of a season bias, but he was a top goal scorer last season, the midfielder / forward, but kind of roll with it. Who else? Okay, this is more difficult than I thought because I'm not thinking about who would I want at Bayern or who would I want to see outside the MLS, but I'm thinking who would actually improve Bayern. And that's difficult. That's difficult. Actually, that's more difficult than I thought. You know what? I'll just leave with Gil and Mukhtar and Sak. What's the guy's name? Sak. Salarian. I don't know. Salarian. Actually, he's moved. Oh wow, he's moved to Saudi. Okay, it's just 2. Look, I'll take back what I said then. They'll still be 10th. Because I'm breaking my rule. I'm adding Messi, I'm adding Busquets, and I'm adding Jordi Alba. There you go. 5 players. Haha. I'm a cheat. Now, the better question is, what do you think MLS team would rank in the Belgium league?
I don't know the Belgian league enough for that.
Fair enough.
If I'm honest.
You know what? Another player from the MLS that I'd want at Bayern, and this is just for nostalgia vibes and whatnot. Shaqiri.
Yeah. Zimmerman's
I'm a
good player, too.
nostalgia merchant.
Zimmerman's a decent player.
We've actually, I can't say that we're stacked at centre back because Meccano. But I mean, Zimmerman could come in. I wouldn't doubt that he'd do well at Bayern. Brings a bit of leadership. A good centre back, good on the ball. For MLS standards, we'll see how that translates.
Yeah.
But good on the ball. Yeah, I wouldn't mind him.
I have a question for you guys. Oh wait,
Yep.
You go.
No, I was just gonna say he just hasn't performed that well this season. But that's all.
Okay. So let's say you guys are playing at Bayern and you're a squad player, right? Saudi comes in and they say, look, if you come for 2 years, 50 mil a year, you taking it? I'm taking it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I don't even want to play for Bayern. I think I said this before. If I was a footballer, I would never want to play for Bayern, and I would never want to coach Bayern. I would always want to be the coach against Bayern and always the player against Bayern. That would be my philosophy, like my thought process. Because I want to beat Bayern. I want to beat them so badly that like they will be begging me. They'd be on my doorstep every single day, just begging me, like, Prince, please, we're the greatest. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. You're the absolute greatest. There is no one greater than you. Please come to Bayern. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. But keep begging me, and maybe I'll do it one day, and I'll never do it. That would be me as a player and a manager. What about you lot? Would you want to play for Bayern or coach them?
I'd coach because I'm not good enough. But if Saudi comes in, I'm off to Saudi.
Fair enough.
Because imagine the payoff you get. You're a coach at Bayern for 1 year. You make what? 10 mil salary minimum, and then they sack you off, so you make an extra 30 mil. So it's a good deal.
My only issue with like going to Saudi Arabia is that like, bro, I would never be able to travel to like America.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I want to like have a vacation in America or something, they would never let me in. They just see me like stay in Saudi Arabia for like a couple hours and then they would never. They'd be like, nope, sorry, can't do that. I know so many friends that went to well, not friends, which is more co-workers that went to Qatar, and then they tried going to America, and America wouldn't let them. They were just like, nope, sorry, no, you were in Qatar within 12 months. We can't let you in. So, good luck. That's what I'm going to say. Good luck. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. That wraps up our prediction, I think. Unless anyone has any like last thoughts. Okay, you know what? Give me something positive. Give me something positive about the season. Predict something positive. Daniel, you've been the most positive one here, so I'm going to go with you last. I want you to give me something new that's positive. Not a trouble, something new. Toby, give me something positive.
Something positive. We lost the partnership to Qatar Airways. That's a positive thing. No. I really hope for this season that players like Kretzig and Hülsmann. I don't know if any one of you know Ritzi Hülsmann, but for me, from a personal perspective, he was here in my city. He was in my club here, which plays in the what's league 4, 5, 6, 6th-tier division in Germany, the Oberliga. And he was raised there and then went to Bayern with his brother. And I am hoping that our youth players will get chances this season. It's a very, very low chance, but maybe Kretzig, now with the injury of Guerrero, gets a bit of playtime to for Davis and maybe Ibrahimovic and Vanna. Yeah, like the youth players. I hope for the youth players that they get some playtime this season.
The biggest scammer. We are the biggest scammer when it comes to Vanna. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, maybe Vanna on loan somewhere.
Hyped him up, gave him a new contract so that no other team could sign him and now don't play him.
I have a big thing for me is what is it with Tillman? It's Malik Tillman, right? Not Timothy Malik, who is now on loan to PSV.
Yep.
When he returns next season, will he ever be a crucial player for our team? Like he's like on loan in every year and performs at the clubs. I think at Rangers he has performed, and I think now that he is a replacement for Simmons at PSV, I guess he will perform there as well. But will he ever be a crucial player for us?
He should have been given a chance this year, and we loaned him out. So I think that tells me everything that I need to know.
Yeah, is Vidovic back from his loan?
Yes.
That kid is a bust.
Okay. Well, you're kind of harsh.
No, he's done nothing. Like Tillman had good loans. What's Vidovic done on loan?
Where was he last season? Belgium somewhere, right?
I think.
I don't even know. I didn't even keep up with it.
Yeah, see, that's how bad he was.
I've got enough troubles in my life. All right, I don't need to follow other players' troubles. Well, Daniel, give me something positive.
All right. You're going to hate me, but...
Here we go. Why am I going to hate you when I say positive?
This is the year in the Bundesliga we go undefeated. We're not losing a single game.
The Invincibles.
Yeah, Invincibles. We're going to get a gold Bundesliga plate.
Why are you doing this? Like, realistic as well. Come on.
I think we can do it. Yeah, why not? Why not? We only have to worry about Gladbach, Leipzig.
I hope we will lose against Bremen, and then I want to be at this talk on Friday evening here.
I think we could. I'm telling you, this will be the most historical season in Bayern's history. Undefeated, gold Bundesliga plate, treble, Harry Kane Euros, Ballon d'Or, first Bayern player with a Ballon d'Or, and God knows how long. That's what it's going to happen.
Chat, press 1 if you believe him. Press 2 if you don't. I want to see. I want to see what the chat thinks. So press 1 if you believe that Bayern will go undefeated. Press 2 if you don't.
Have faith, guys. Press 1. We will do it.
Well, I think that answers your question. Toby hit as well about 52s. I want to make a statement.
We're gonna come back to. There we go. We got a 1. There we go. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to my comments after Euros 2024, and we'll see that I'm correct. Everyone will see.
Look, all right. If you're right and we go undefeated, look. Say what you want. I'm buying you something. You can have whatever you want. A boat? I'll buy you a boat. I'll take out a mortgage for a boat. All right. Actually not last but not least, but Talasif, say something positive about this, about what we're about to experience if you're still here.
I mean, what I've seen of Lima was definitely a step into the right direction compared to what Goretzka has been offering for the past few years. So I think our midfield is going to improve ever so slightly. Um, yeah, that's the most positive thing I can say.
That's positive enough. That's positive enough. Um, now I have to say something positive. Oh, here's a positive. There's going to be a lot more videos from me this year. That's the only positive I can think of, because nothing else will be positive. Everything else will be negative. It's going to be a horrible season. We're going to be absolutely awful. And quite frankly, we're going to look like the worst team ever. And we're not even going to win the Bundesliga. We're not going to win the DFB Cup. We're not going to win the Champions League. Quite frankly, we're going to be absolutely awful. And quite frankly, we're going to have the worst season of all time. But the positive is there's going to be a lot more videos. Yay. Yay. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you everyone for listening. It has been, we've been live now for 2 hours. Felt like it's been a lot longer, but I think it's just because the fan is off. And so, in this heat, I'm dying. So every minute feels like an hour. Every hour feels like a day. So it feels like I've been here for 2 days. But look, thank you all for being here. Make sure to like the stream. Give it a thumbs up. It takes like 5 seconds of your time to do so. And with that said, the Bundesliga season is upon us. So I'll say this one more time before I leave. I'm currently doing a giveaway on Twitter, which you can, which if you follow my Twitter, which is linked in the description down below, just retweet and like and follow me on Twitter. It's the pinned tweet on my Twitter or on my X. It's the pinned X on my X. So if you X post it and you X like it and you X tweet it and you X comment and you summoned and you sourced and you exceed, then you'll be in with a chance to win a Harry Kane shirt. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, the giveaway ends on Friday, just before the Bundesliga game. So you have a few days left to really participate. But with that said, I am going to see all of you next time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here in the discussion. I know it's been quite a long time, and I know it was kind of like, it was a prediction. Granted, we did have a structure, but it also feels like people weren't really able to express themselves as much. But sometimes, a more structured thing is nice to have. With that said, has anyone got any final thoughts? And if not, we will close it down.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, perfect. Wishing you, I think, it's the best jersey of the season and greetings from Azerbaijan. Well, thank you. First of all, Mursel, thank you very much for the greetings. Greetings back to you. Which team has the best jersey? I am PSG. They typically have the best, honestly. Typically, 9 times out of 10, they have the best jersey in world football. I think the seasons were very much the same. I do like our third kit a lot, but I'll also go with PSG for best looking one. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everyone for being here, and I'll see all of you next time. Until then, peace out, have a nice day, and as always, goodbye.